class. I'm doing this video to help you evaluate function expressions when you're using function notation. So let me show me this. I'll show you the screen. Suppose f of x is this x squared minus 6x plus 10 expression. Then they say compute the following. And this is how this is said out loud. F of -5, so that's the function evaluated at -5, plus f of 1, which is the function above evaluated at 1. So let's write that out. So where I see this f of -5, I'm going to rewrite, this is the f function right here. And evaluated at -5 means that I replace, just like, let's say, f of x, and what happened between here and here, what has happened? They took the x and they replaced it with -5. So they did that on this side of the equation. I have to do it on that side of the equation. So this side of the equation is just to show you, this is negative, this is the name of this function, f of x. And this side of the equation is where all the action happens. I'm going to be plugging into this side of the equation. This side is, its only purpose right now really is to tell you the name of that side, right? So I do all the plugging in, all the special stuff on this side of the equation. So I'm going to rewrite that right-hand side of the equation, replacing all of the x with -5. And that's what I'm going to replace this with. So let me rewrite it above. I have 5. I'm just to rewrite the whole equation that we want, this whole thing. So in for this, I'm going to substitute in this entire equation plugged with -5 plugged in for x. So I'm going to put it in parentheses. So I'm substituting in for f of -5. So, and in for the, it might be good if you put the actual original equation up right above it. This is the original f of x. So in for x, I'm putting -5. I'm going to square it, and then in for the x, I'm putting in -5 again. And remember, we substitute things in, it's great to use parentheses. Then, okay, so this became this, right? Because that's literally what is written here, is the function, the function being x squared minus 6x plus 10, evaluated or substituted -5 for the x. Right? That's what this is, and that's what they were asking for there. Now they're not done with this problem though, because now they said, okay, well, we want you to take the function evaluated at 1 and add it to the rest of the stuff. So now we're just going to do that a second time. I'm going to write the function, because it's the f function, so it's this stuff. And I'm going to write it replacing the x with 1. And now I just simplify. I just use order of operations and just simplify everything. So I hope that it's fine with you that this got substituted with this stuff, right? And this got substituted with this stuff. And so now all we have to do is follow order of operations and simplify, and we'll have our answer. We have to be very careful when we're doing these calculations, because when we're multiplying, adding, there's a lot of mistakes that we can make we'll do, we'll probably do 36, arithmetic things in a row right here, right? So we have -5 squared. Remember, this is, the negative sign is being squared here. So it's actually -5 times by -5 here. It does not mean, -5 squared, where this negative is in front of the square and it's not included underneath the square and it's part of the base here. So this is not the case. This is what we have. So it's going to be positive 25. And then a -6 times -5 is a positive 30 plus 10 plus everything over here. So it's 1 squared is 1 minus, and -6 times positive 1 is -6 plus 10. So now I'm just going to add everything together, add all my positives together, and then add the negatives together and subtract 2. So I have 25 plus 30 is 55, 65, 66, plus 10, 76. And then minus the 6, and I get 70. And there we go. That's our answer for this first part. Then we can do the same thing with the second part. It's going to be very similar, except for we're going to, the only difference it looks like, right, because it's the f of -5, so we have that, and then the f of 1, is that actually we don't have to do very much work for the second part, because the only thing that's different is that there's a negative sign here. So I would have to be careful. What's going to end up happening there is I'm going to end up having the same thing, right? Or this is the f of -5, is that it boils down to be this, then minus f of -1. Well, f of -1 boil down to 1 minus 6 plus 10. And now I just have to be careful to remember that when I'm subtracting polynomial expressions like this, I have to distribute that negative sign out to every term in that second polynomial. So it's going to be, or I could combine like terms and just make sure to subtract that term. However, that would also be an acceptable way to do that. In fact, it probably would be more straightforward, so we don't have to distribute so much of the negative. That would just take more work, I guess. So we would just, all of this would still be 65. And then I would say subtract, and then this is 11 minus 5, so 5. So we would end up getting 60 here. So it's actually a lot easier. I mean, it looks really hard, but it's a lot easier than it looks. Second part. We just have to make sure that, yeah, the two signs are negative. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day. Bye.